Welcome back to Siren Blood Curse. Before we begin, just a little bit of table setting. We will not be going to the Ito house like I said last time, even though it was suggested by the next episode preview. But we will be talking about the Ito house extensively in the bonus content section at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that, if that's the sort of thing you're interested in. More importantly, there is a pretty big jump scare in this video, and I am not going to shout it out in advance. I will instead leave spoilers in the video description. So if you want to prepare yourself for that sort of thing, check the description for timestamps and further information on how to avoid having your heart stopped. But I think it is worth going into it blind, personally, if you can handle it. Choose which one is best for you as we begin episode 9.
Bella, hurry, get in! Get away from her, you son of a bitch!
I'm holding you responsible. Hey, chill out, all right? And how was this my fault?
Bella, hold on! Start, goddammit, come on!
I don't remember anyone forcing you to bring her along.
Bella's consistent character trait of just grabbing any random thing she spots on the ground if it's shiny enough continues unabated. It is rather charming, and we are in tremendous danger, but we are still with Melissa and Bella together, so maybe things will turn out differently than they did the first time.
Hello? Is anybody in there? Please, somebody!
Mommy, where's Daddy? Isn't Daddy gonna come and save us?
Even if Daddy isn't here, Mommy will protect you, okay? We have to find a way out of here.
So, we will do our best to protect Bella. It is our character's main goal. And unfortunately, she is unarmed. Tossed her weapons aside when she got in that car. Figured it would be weapon enough. Now there's a Shibito with a scythe in front of us. So we can't go that way. We can go this way, though. Once Bella's down here, I'm gonna have her wait. We are gonna go on ahead alone.
Daddy's okay, right?
I have some foreknowledge of the sort of danger we're in. I mean, we were told to get a weapon, so obviously things are not safe. Once we get down here, we start to hear a heartbeat indicating a Shibito is nearby. And in fact, there are many Shibito nearby. There's the problem, though. This is a sniper. He is in a perfect vantage point. He's over by Miyako's grave. And from up there, he can see a full quarter of the entire level. There's his gun, a double-barreled shotgun. Most of the pellets will miss us if he fires from that distance, but enough will land and he can fire twice. He can kill us instantly if he wants. So we'll have to sneak past him. Let's check our objectives. So, we are over here by the fuel storage. We found a weapon. Our objectives are our sub-goals are to reach the East Field, pass through the Iron Gate to get to the West Fields. The sniper can see from the down log, indicated in black right next to our character model here, all the way up this path, all the way around the corner, up to about that bridge near the dilapidated shed. So we would have to stealth past that whole area to get to the East Fields here. And then we would go around further to get to the Iron Gate. Instead of that, I am going to climb back up the way I came. Reunite with Bella. But we'll leave her here for now. Because we have a weapon, but we're still not safe. The zombies who were guarding the exit of the church have now moved much, much closer to the church. They are a more immediate threat. But we are vicious and out to protect Bella. Let's do so. Using foreknowledge. Get the jump on this guy. Stun lock him until he passes out. But she sneaks up behind us, tries to stealth kill us. A little too slow, and her weapon is useless. It is a water ladle. Want it for the archive, and that's it, because it's terrible. Now, we can get Bella back. We do gotta pull her up here, which is surprisingly difficult to do. Wait for the prompt.
I was worried.
Come on, Bella.
Come here.
Okay, she was not officially following us for some reason.
I can't do it by myself.
Now she should come with us. Thank you. You have to get right up to the edge of the cliff there. But if you take one step further, you will jump off yourself. But there we go. We have reached the West Fields, completely bypassing the whole sniper area. And there we go. It clears all of our sub-goals, because we technically did them. However, I am going to go back through the East Fields. It so happens that there is an archive item back this way, but it is still easier to get going this route than the intended route. The sniper can't see us over here, but there are other patrolling Shibito. We just want to keep him away from Bella. Yep. I think our one-hit killed her. Just make sure Bella sticks close. She moves a bit slower than us, as is to be expected. Someone is screaming in anguish. So over here, we got a Shibito on the upper level. Completely unarmed, though. She won't last long against us. Quite a bit longer than I expected, though. Oh, I did not kill that first Shibito. Oh well, we got a checkpoint when we got to the Iron Gate. Okay, back by the East Gate. The guys we killed are back up. Try and use terrain to prevent some damage. Maybe get this guy killed. Yes. Before the other one gets involved. 2-on-1 fight, and we still won.
Are we okay now?
Honestly, pretty lucky. Now, we get back to scouring the entire area for an archive item. The sniper can actually spot us while we're in here in the East Fields. His vantage point is that good, but he can't hit us where we are right now, at least.
Are the monsters gone?
Okay, the farmer spotted us. He's not coming to interfere just yet. But we do gotta kill her. That will get us a better weapon.
Are the monsters gone?
And finally, our archive item.
I've seen him before. What's happening?
Why'd you do that, Mommy?
Memories. So, Howard Wright's cell phone can appear in one of at least 3 locations in this level. My blind playthrough, I found the shortcut where we go straight to the West Fields, as shown in earlier parts of this video. And then, as I opened the Iron Gate to clear that sub-goal, just out of habit, I discovered Howard's cell phone. Right there, at the Iron Gate. Because that is one of the 3 locations where it can spawn. And I say 3, it might actually be more than 3. Oh, that's bad news. The Shibito can get execution animations on you as well. Didn't expect to show that off. But it's fine, we got Howard's cell phone. So yeah, in my blind playthrough, I'll show you exactly where I found that item. Right here through this gate. I killed these 2 over by the church. Then I just walked over this way, opened the gate, and I got an examine prompt right about here. And I hit it, and I picked up Howard's cell phone. Completed the entire level without ever touching the East Fields or the entire sniper area. Turns out that was just extremely good luck, in addition to being observant of the level layout. And yeah, the 3rd location where the cell phone might spawn, in addition to the dilapidated shed, I don't know where that is. I have retraced the entire map, and I wasn't able to find it when the item spawned there. So, there are at least 3 spots that can spawn, maybe a 4th, who knows. The only spots I know of are the Iron Gate and the dilapidated shed. But for now, we're going through the West Fields to knock over the rotting tree, just like Howard did in his initial run of this level. We're getting pretty close.
Oh, Mommy, I can't get my foot out.
You have to keep trying, Bella! Don't worry, honey. Mommy's gonna protect you.
The rotting tree came to us. Turns out, Bella's apparent misfortune death in the original timeline wasn't just an accident. A maggot Shibito threw that log, and because Melissa wasn't here to protect her, it crushed Bella to death. But now, it has merely trapped her foot, and we will try to prevent her from taking any lethal damage in the process. We pulled aggro, but now we need to not get crushed by the telephone pole she's wielding, while knocking over all of the barrels. Also, there was a gardening tool that I missed last time for the archive. Get this thing over. So far, so good. She's throwing more shit around. You'd think she'd be able to just run her hand through our gut like the regular Shibito did earlier. But no, she's insisted on dragging us over to Bella. But we have filled the water with gasoline, and we have a lighter. Mission accomplished. The day is saved.
Damn it. Bella, Melissa, please be alright. Oh, damn it. Looks like I have to buy a new pair after all. Well, that's one less thing for her to be mad about. What's this?
なぜだ前にもここで 妙な気分だな
So, memories of previous loops are very fuzzy and sporadic, but Saiga's beginning to get some of his own. And Melissa got one when she found a little keepsake in the form of Howard's cell phone. Remember the time she murdered him. For now, we need to save Bella once again. Seems to be everyone's goal today. There's no one better prepared to do it than Saiga, though. If only we had saved Soul, we would have a lot less trouble on our hands. He's proven to be a very dangerous Shibito. Looks like Bella's nice and safe. But of course, more Shibito. Never-ending supply of these guys, because they cannot die. Our shotgun does basically random damage at this distance. Like so, you can one-hit kill Soul, or not. We can always just leap off the tower. I actually didn't know that before, but it is good to know now. Bella's run off towards the noodle shop. Thank you, sub-gold menus, for telling me that. We know who loves the noodle shop. Officer Shimada. One of the most dangerous men in this entire town. Pretty much second only to Saiga. But Saiga is on Bella's side today. Get down here. There we go. Keep ourselves good and loaded. And move on, because Soul only stays down for like 10 seconds at a time. Okay, we scared Bella out of the shop. Let us see where she's going. She is heading through a hole in the fence that Saiga can't go through because he's too big. So we'll take a shortcut. See if we can head her off at the pass. There she is. Oh, and we saved her from Fly Shibito. But she's still scared of us. So she's gonna go around here. We need to scare her again. Run her through the fence. Get out of here. Stop running towards me. Just get out of town, Bella. Where's she at now? Let's see. Okay, she went right back where we left her. That's unfortunate. Gotta do the whole mission again. Because of bad AI. After you protect her from the Fly Shibito, she's supposed to just leave the map. In that instant. Today, not so much. Soul's taking extra bullets. So we are already on bad RNG. He went down faster. So this time we'll just use foreknowledge. Get everyone out of our way immediately. Rush Bella right the hell out of here. Flies behind us, I'll kill them on the way out. Bella's going to her hiding spot, which is not at all safe. I wish she wouldn't. But it is specifically placed to be as inconvenient as possible for Saiga to get to. Because unfortunately, her goal is to stop Saiga from finding her, not realizing that he is here to save the day. So we'll let her get to where she's going. Then save her. There she goes. Will she keep going? She's still screaming somewhere. I don't see her. Looks like she's still somewhere. What's going on? This is bizarre. I swear I know how to beat this level. There she is, waiting for the fly Shibuto to respawn. Now she has multiple problems on her hands. Please keep going, Bella. It's another problem for me. Okay, she finally decided to leave. Phew, that took much longer than it ever takes. Weird. So, with that out of the way, we need to acquire the ancient book. And to do that, we're going to need a key. These are the most vague instructions we've received yet in this game. Well done, Blood Curse. You're finally as Siren as Siren was. While we're just wandering around, I guess we'll go up this way, where Soul was. No one's here. That's an unfortunate sign. For both in-game reasons and meta reasons. You don't want to see that. Got spotted by a fly, I think. Get him out. There we go. Soul has a scythe. This is the only scythe in the entire game. So we need it now, or it's gone. And unfortunately, I'm not seeing any victims for the scythe. I'd love to give it a test drive. But we do not want Soul getting our shotgun. That is a recipe for disaster. Instead, we'll trade our shotgun for this frying pan. That can only end well. Here in the Mitamura house. Saiga was once a Mitamura. Now we just need to find another archive item that spawns randomly in this area. It could be on that space heater. Maybe it'll be up here. Cool. This is excellent for Let's Play purposes. To have items appear in locations that could be pretty much anywhere. Oh, hello. Nothing here. I mean, it has to be in the house. That's all that makes sense. Well, I am going to cheat, load a checkpoint, and hope that that places it in a spot that I can actually find. This should bring us right back to after Bella left. And indeed it has. Apparently I was supposed to climb up on the roof to save Bella. No thank you. This is where we fell through the roof as Howard. Can do the same now. And that... Aha! Okay, so the book was inside a box, which only appears when you drop through the hole in the roof. It actually is consistent. And kinda interesting, and very obscure. Very Siren. Again, I applaud you, Blood Curse. Baby photos of Saiga Mitamura, the long dead man who became Saiga. Now we'll get a frying pan, head back upstairs, and keep exploring. There's always more to see in the Mitamura house. Here's the only place we haven't checked, though. Yeah. This is a Shibito brain. And one of the most creepily designed ones in the whole game. I don't know who it's supposed to be. But they are gonna die. And when they die, they vomit out a nice key for us. Very, very creepy. A extremely memorable moment in the game. Foreshadowed by this little drawing of disembodied head people. Presumably drawn by young Saiga. As this was his former home, we will lay this one to rest. And proceed safely through the rest of the village. The regular Shibito will still exist, but the flies are down. XYZ. Because your fly's down. There's a dead fly. And a live drunk man. Wanted to club us with a beer bottle? No thank you. Here's a second site that can randomly spawn, speaking of things that do randomly spawn in this game. But we don't need it now. Even though the site does have some execution animations to it. Back in the Mana Shrine, we're looking for an ancient book. So where would it be besides the bookshelf? Very nice. Strange Tales of Gojaku. That accomplished our mission, but how? What did that book do to help Saiga? We'll find out in the archives.
るしかできない。せっかく綺麗だったのに。
Miyako. My God. It was all foreseen? There were drawings of us in here? I don't believe this. Damn it.
Bella!
Mommy?
I remember now.
眠っているもう一つの力を解き放つの。
あれは
There is no escape. You have no place to run.
Mysteries are beginning to be solved here in the late game, but it might all be for naught if Bella cannot escape the extremely dangerous Ito house, where she has found herself holed up. And that is where we will pick up next time. For now, we have a bunch of important, well-earned archive items to go through. We got the hand rake. This was in the shed the first time we went through that shed of gardening implements with Howard. I just happened to miss this one. It is, for some reason, a light blunt weapon. The ends of this pronged garden tool are curved to help make raking up fallen leaves easier. Doesn't really serve any purpose, there are so many identical weapons in that same spot. But you don't want to forget it. We got the water ladle, bashed against our face a few times. Poor damage though. The bowl-shaped container at the end of the handle is designed for scooping up water. It's usually made from wood, metal, or plastic. Not a weapon. Fortunately, because otherwise that 2-on-1 fight might have been much, much harder. And the scythe. Very strong weapon. A crescent-shaped blade attached to a long wooden pole. Its length enables its wielder to cut a swath through grass. You'd think you'd see more of them in Hanuda, but they're only in this chapter. There was one that was used against Melissa, but she could not wield it because she's a lady. That happens sometimes in this game. And throughout the rest of the series, unfortunately. Before we see the new archive items, we did find another page of Bella's diary. After Sam lost his glasses. That was the last one. She asked for them to go find her at the church, but now she has drawn something else with her watercolor markers. The strange and random collection of buildings above a river of red water is unsettling. The spider in the upper left, part of the diary's design, looks almost as if it has come from the sky to attack the place. Really more creepy foreshadowing. But how has Bella seen this nest? This is the nest area that Howard has explored earlier in a previous loop. Curious that Bella would be able to have drawn it. Last time she went through there, she was evolving into a Shibito brain. Anyway, here's Howard's cell phone. Speaking of the guy, our main character of the game, we finally found it. It is needlessly difficult to find this thing, but they get one random location archive item in this game. There are certainly harder ones to find in the preceding games. Howard's cell phone, the idle screen is set to a picture of Howard in a Dracula costume, taken with two friends on Halloween. There's one voice message currently stored in memory. Let's listen in.
You have 1 saved message. First message sent August 2nd, 11:03 p.m.
Howie, it's Eric. What's up? Me and some guys are getting together tomorrow to go bowling. I need you on my team, man. You up for it? Oh, wait. You said you were going to Hanuda, didn't you? Yeah, from what some Japanese friends tell me, that place sounds fucked up. They're probably just full of BS. And hey, you want a little excitement anyway, right? A bike trip sounds like just what you needed. Oh yeah, you left your DVD at my place. Damsel of Darkness. You got some weird taste in movies, man. Well, hey, just give me a call when you can.
End of messages.
There it is, Hanuda. Long U sound, although that was an American saying that, so maybe that is still not the correct pronunciation. I know I don't trust Eric. It also gives us the option to save to the hard disk drive. Save what? Well, if we were to press that button, we would get an extremely long loading screen. And when it finally resolved, we would have a bunch of pictures from Howard's cell phone loaded onto our PS3 hard drive. Which we will check out later because we have too much stuff to check out in this video already. We also got the cigarette lighter, a vintage metal lighter with a picture of a cat on the side. Letters that look like they might be someone's initials are engraved in the lower right. Do they look like that? I don't see a damn thing. This picture is way too washed out. I see the picture of the cat, and I see the brand, Mergman American. Famous lighter brand. But at the moment, I can make out nothing further. So we'll check out Mitamura Family Album, which was surprisingly difficult to find. I'm glad I stumbled upon it, quite literally. An old family album that was left behind in the abandoned Mitamura house. Pictures of a young son are pasted inside with captions lovingly handwritten by the mother. 1946, 5 years old, Saiga. The naked baby photo up there. Today I rolled over on my own for the first time, and Seisuga came to play today. I love it when she gives me a great big hug. I had a great time hanging out with cousin Masa today. Masa stayed over, he's like a brother to me. There we go. Young Saiga. Very happy little guy in a loving family. You love to see it, except that the family exploded in a car crash, which is less enjoyable. But Saiga going through his past memories and perhaps recalling his youthful, happy self might make him behave in a more moral manner in the second loop of the game, which to him is God knows how many loops. We initially got the impression that our character is transported to 1976, but it appears 1976 came to us because it has been looping every 3 days for over 30 years, and Saiga has some recollection of every single loop. At least he begins to recall it as he lives through each one. A tortured existence, which might be getting better now that he knows a little more about himself. But more importantly, he found this part of his mission, the Strange Tales of Gojaku book. An ancient relic lies buried deep beneath the earth in Gojaku. Known as the Yen, it is a gift from heaven with the power to swallow the darkness of chaos in holy fire. However, this sacred object may only be wielded by those who have received the power of the Chosen One. The real ones know about the Yen, and now, so does Saiga. That's all we have as far as information about the Yen, though. Not much to go on, but it does give you some hint as to its location. Saiga now knows, vaguely, where the Yen is. So that will probably have some repercussions on the future. For now, we've gone through all our archive items, completed both our chapters. Let's go back to the cigarette lighter. Because obviously mysteries still abound with this thing. We are supposed to read the initials in the corner, but we simply can't unless we were somehow able to zoom in on these things. I, of course, can. And on the zoomed in version of the lighter, you can actually sort of read the lettering in the corner. It is in very fancy script, the letters NT. This is confirmed by the game director. He says it stands for New Translation, the Japanese name of Siren Blood Curse. So for the rest of this video, we will call the game Siren New Translation, because we will be talking about the Japanese version extensively from here on out. We finally get to talk about Siren New Translation Episode 0. But before we can do that, we have to go back to Searching for Hanuda, the promotional website we talked about earlier. We read the translated version. I have since found the original Japanese version. It, of course, can only be found on the Wayback Machine, because it has long since been taken offline. But it was located at Hanuda.com with a Y, as is the common Japanese spelling of the name of the town. Might have given me a hint as to use that long U. But it was apparently first archived on July 18th. Notably, the game came out July 24th of 2008. So the site was up well in advance. And there was plenty of other stuff out in advance of the game's release. But the most important thing right now is Hanuda.com. So it is in Japanese, of course. It was only intended for Japanese audiences. What I've done is I've opened it on my phone, gotten an automated translation of it, and brought that over here so that we can get some idea of what was said over there. And it does look very, very similar to the one we saw. You'll note the phone number was not initially obscured. And it says, please do not make video phone calls. I have found testimonial that if you did disobey this command and make a video phone call, they would send you back an exclusive video of like a Shibito growling at you or something. It's kind of unclear, because that was also something I discovered via automated translation. The person just said they got a picture of a corpse when they made a video phone call. So, there was another bonus thing. This is not a screw-up on the part of the developers. This was actual more bonus content, of course. I shouldn't be surprised. Also, if you were sincerely wondering whether or not the promotional giveaway for Red Water was a real thing, it was first come, first served to the first 100 visitors to the website, and the website went online with over 300,000 visitors, so yeah, that was also a joke. Or rather, that was a joke, unlike the phone number. And furthermore, the information that sort of cut off on the About Hanuda thing information blurb, the same amount of information is present on the Japanese version as far as I can tell. It's just very awkwardly worded. So that was the actual conclusion of the statement about school grades, how there's only 2 of them in the area. Not entirely sure what it means still, but we didn't miss anything as Americans. Or at least we didn't miss much. But what's important is, the webcam is gone, but it says there is supposed to be a live camera here. That seems to have just been removed in the archival process, because it definitely was here, and I do have testimonials about what it went through it when it did exist. But what's more important is this part, which was removed from later versions of the website, where they tell us about a reporter, a director, a cameraman, and a voice. That's the sound guy. And this is the film crew that was going to investigate Hanuda Village on August 2nd, 2007. You will note, this is not Sol and Melissa and Sam and Bella. This is 4 different Japanese people who are going to the same place on the same day to do the same thing. By sheer coincidence, as far as I can tell. Truly, there are no coincidences in the Siren universe, but there is no further explanation as to why these 2 crews decided to go to Hanuda on the same day. But we can get further information about them. Also, this section was removed at the end of the year of 2008. By 2009, you can no longer find this section. Not sure why they removed it. But if we were to click on each of these names, we would get little bios for the character in question, which are incredibly poorly translated. These are indecipherable, unfortunately. But we do get the character's name, Michiko Toyoshima. She's 25, she's the reporter. Ignore pronouns. She's the only female member of the team, and she is, ironically, the only person who gets any male pronouns in her bio. The rest all get she, her. I don't know why. Weird translation error. But, I mean, she's a campaign gal for barley tea. Her favorite food is Genghis Khan hot balls. But, yeah, this is not very useful. What is important here, the only important thing that we really need to know, is her name and her age, her position as the reporter, and the fact that she is looking for a boyfriend. Ignore the acclaim part, that is irrelevant. She is romantically interested in finding somebody. Here's the director, Yusuke Yamaguchi. Her favorite food is kimchi. Again, this is a guy. Ignore the pronouns. He is unmarried. Pinch is a chance. When you're unmarried, do not make your motto, pinch is a chance, especially not in the workplace. Very unprofessional, Yusuke. The cameraman, Takashi Shimizu. Yeesh. Vowels. This one is especially incoherent. She is not her. Again, ignore the pronouns, but this is supposed to say something about how he does not have a girlfriend. That is what initially the translation says, according to an amateur translation that I found elsewhere. If you can do it, is this little motto. And finally, the sound guy, Naoto Tanaka, age 43. He is divorced. Long history of divorce, leaving him a real independent dappo. Not very much useful information, except all of the characters are single. And that's all we know about them at the moment. We don't even have pictures, unfortunately. But this is our film crew. This specific film crew is relevant to Siren New Translation Episode 0, which we can now discuss further. New Translation Episode 0 was a live-action short film that was released in 13 chapters over the course of July 2008 to promote the release of Siren New Translation. It is meant to look like unedited documentary footage, which our reporting crew was shooting, and it is presented in such a way as to explain their fate. It is entirely in Japanese with no subtitles whatsoever, and it is intentionally made to look grainy and sound bad because it is sort of behind-the-scenes footage that was never meant to be seen by the public. Most of it, though, is completely visual, so you don't really need to understand what's being said. But if you want to, there is an amateur translation that I found on Game FAQs of all places, which was uploaded as the episodes were coming out before the game's release all the way back in 2008. And it is a miracle that I was able to dredge this thing up, but you can actually understand the vast majority of what the characters are saying. Like I said, some of it is intentionally almost impossible to make out, so the translator did have a hard time. But if you wish to view it all yourself, you can find that link in the video description. So a large portion of Episode 0 is just the director and the cameraman shooting establishing shots, which would eventually have been covered by voiceover in the finished product. But we just get to see slow pans across the scenery. And also the characters themselves traversing the treacherous area of Hanuda village, which has been very poorly maintained for the past 30 years, as it was presumed destroyed and cursed and unlivable. At one point, while they are filming the reporter traveling through the village, she walks right past a mana cross, and no one makes any note of it. It just is in the background, forebodingly. They also stumble across a variety of items that we found in-game, and comment upon them. Like they find the fortune can with the can-can crossover for the promotional event, which hardly anyone won, although it is found next to a toy fire truck. suggesting that whoever had purchased that can was one of the lucky ones. They also happen to stumble across Sol and Melissa filming something for their Hanuda special. They just happen to spot them all the way off in the distance, across some foliage, and they choose not to interrupt them in their filming, and then Sol and Melissa walk away, and so too does this separate film crew. They never actually interact. After that chance encounter, there are some shots of them setting up the webcams, which would later lead fake live footage to the promotional website, so as to explain how that all happened. Then they all have lunch together, and Michiko grabs the camera herself so as to film this casual bonding moment between the crew members, which turns out to be a pivotal scene. It starts with the sound guy announcing that he has lost cell phone coverage, which seems like just a casual background detail, but it's actually foreshadowing, because we know when you're stuck in the Hanuda time loop, you cannot reach the outside world. But while he's concerned with that, Michiko notices that the director is holding the lighter with the cat on it. She asks him if that's the lighter that she gave to him, and indeed it is. So she starts to playfully tease him, and the cameraman who is seeing this whole thing take place also is teasing him while they're flirting. But after that lighter is drawn to attention, the sound guy doesn't speak another word. He becomes completely invested in finding a cell signal and ultimately just walks away. So there we go, that's the origin of the lighter, right? But NT are not the reporter's initials. Her first name is Michiko. MT are her initials. So there is more to it. But while the crew is having this friendly conversation, Michiko happens to pan the camera behind the director, catches a glimpse of a mirror with some humanoid shape in it. And it can only be seen for a few frames, but it is further foreshadowing. After lunch, the director and cameraman start filming more establishing shots, and happen to notice off in the distance, the sound guy and the reporter are having a conversation, which they cannot hear because it's way too far off. But it does seem to get heated. Michiko puts a hand on the sound guy's arm to try and calm him down, but he storms off. The sound guy's name is Naoto Tanaka. NT. That was his lighter, which he gave to Michiko, and she gave it to the director. And that is the full origin of the lighter. It represents a love triangle within the crew. Crew that you never meet in the game, but they still have a complicated backstory told in very subtle ways, which the vast majority of the audience just didn't even have access to. And that's the part of this short film that is relevant to those two letters from the game, so that's what I wanted to explain. If you have any intention to ever watch Episode 0 yourself, I would strongly recommend you turn off this video now and just go do that. I will even provide a timestamp that you can jump right to if you want to just watch the rest of the video now that you know the first half of what goes on in Episode 0. You can just jump right to the action, because from here on out, it is pretty much all visual, no more dialogue or drama to worry about, and I personally think it is quite well made, so I would suggest giving it a shot. But if not, here's what happens. So during the lunch scene, while Michiko was holding the camera herself, the director got the idea to send her in alone with a night vision camera into one of the locations in Hanuda Village. We soon recognize that the location she is exploring in pitch darkness is the Ito house. And while she's going through it, she stumbles upon a bunch of the random items that we've seen in the in-game version of the Ito house, including a insect catching kit. That's one to keep in mind for later. And as she's doing this exploration, she is whispering to herself about what she's thinking and what she's seeing, and eventually, she comes upon the form of a doll, which, seeing that humanoid shape, all of a sudden startles her, and she runs down the stairs and eventually stops to catch her breath. And in that moment, she finds a Shibito, of course. That sends her running full tilt for the exit, where the rest of the crew eventually helps her out of the building, and they all run off together. Unfortunately, they end up getting separated. The cameraman is lost without a trace, and Officer Shimada shows up, already a Shibito. He soon singles out Naoto the sound guy and strangles him to death. When the deed is done, Shimada begins to stumble towards Michiko and the director, and then pulls out his gun and starts blasting. Hard cut to nightfall, with sirens blaring. The director, lit only by the flame of that lighter, addresses the camera to explain the situation they're in. The cameraman has gone missing, Naoto is dead, and he has had his leg broken. He says if they don't get help soon, they're done for. But unfortunately, the only help that arrives is Shimada. They try their best to stay silent and use stealth to avoid detection, but eventually he catches them and strangles the director to death, just like Naoto. Michiko flees, alone, holding the camera on herself, begging for help from somebody. But she soon stops dead in her tracks when she notices a figure off in the distance. She shouts in surprise, "Naoto-san!" Then, it cuts, and that is the end of episode 0. And it is noteworthy that she used Naoto's first name, because in a Japanese working relationship you simply would not do that, suggesting their relationship was more than simply working, as we already knew about the love triangle from decoding the whole thing with the lighter. But speaking of which, there is an extra chapter to episode 0. It's not in the YouTube video for some reason, but I was able to dredge it up on a Japanese video site. In the EX chapter, we find the camera still running next to Michiko's dead body and the lighter. Someone unseen picks up the camera and the lighter, investigates that lighter for a few seconds, then tosses it down onto Michiko's body, then finally turns the camera on themselves to reveal a Shibitified Naoto. And that's the end of that kind of unnecessary addition to episode 0. But it is extra creepy. And also on that Japanese video site, I was able to find a great deal of the live webcam footage that I thought was lost. Most, if not all of it, has been backed up on that Japanese website, totaling over like 20 minutes of footage. I haven't gone through nearly all of it, but I will link some highlights from that I found as well. And that is the dark, unsettling tale of one lighter's journey to drive a rift between 4 coworkers, save the life of Bella Monroe, kill an unkillable maggot Shibito, and immolate Melissa Gale. Next time, we shall explore the Ito house ourselves, with someone even more vulnerable and isolated than Michiko Toyoshima was.